We had to have this talk about worst case scenario, what to do.
Yeah.
What's my wishes? What can we do? What will happen to her if in the worst case scenario that I would die?
The synchronization clap has begun and the podcast is on. Welcome back to the Juice. Today we are having a special guest with us. Can you introduce yourself to the audience over here?
Yeah. My name is Stefan Simoni Høj, and I'm the lead singer of the band Shred. And I've been for 6 years now, I think.
Yes.
So, and it seems that the name is kind of implies what kind of music it is, Shred. But can you tell a bit about what type of music you're playing?
Yes.
Yeah, it's in the hard rock genre.
There's a lot of shredding.
Actually, not actually.
There's actually not a lot of shredding in Shred.
It's been more now than there was when I started. The genre when I started was a lot of AC/DC inspired.
Yeah.
Kind of like that, but we are moving a bit more towards the metal area, I think.
Yeah.
We have had a couple of replacements in the band since I started, and the primary what's it called, inspiration is something like Avenged Sevenfold.
Avenged Sevenfold, they're really
that's
good.
Also that's actually a good comparison, because they are also they are metal, but they are definitely still in also a lot of hard rock implications in the music. And actually, while we are talking about the music, we might as well just plug God of Fire, which is my favorite from Shred. I really love your vocal takes. I was complimenting you before. I love the way you sing it. And I actually, in that track, I can absolutely hear the AC/DC reference hard rock thing. I was talking about the guitar track.
You're so hyped about that guitar, right?
I can't let it go. I really think that guitar is just mixed perfectly.
It's all I can talk about. Like, since he's listened to that song, it's like that guitar track though.
It's really real good. So you should go check that out if you're for. I keep looking at this camera.
Give a look at this. But our camera's over there, dude.
that one's pointing at me.
Yeah, that's his camera.
Oh god.
So everyone who's watching the show, like on YouTube, instead of just listening to it, are you filming with a freaking cell phone? Yeah, we're filming with two.
I just bumped this camera before too.
Yeah, it's gonna be shaky.
Normally you're so annoyed with me because I always do shit like this to my microphone, and now I'm also bumping the camera.
And now I have a lot of editing to do. Thank you very much.
I haven't swore yet. I haven't said anything bad yet.
No, you're just making me do it.
Yeah.
That's what I'm pretty good at also. Swear all the time, but I try to keep it to a minimum.
Just go crazy. He can take it. He has nothing better to do.
Spoken like a true guy behind the president who just gives up.
Sometimes he has to edit out the whole intro because he said yes, and we'll keep the swearing to a minimum, and then he claps and I go and just go crazy.
You're not making this easier, dude.
I know.
It's easy to see who does the editing.
Yeah, he does the editing. I am so transparent with who are the brains behind this operation. That's definitely him. I have no idea what I'm doing on a computer.
I love how you just threw me under the bus, saying like the guy with the bad ideas, that's the guy over there.
Oh my god. So I absolutely give him a round of applause in the comment section for being a champ.
You know what? I'm gonna insert a applause track just on my behalf, just because I can do that.
You can do that. I'm so impressed you haven't made any of us look like assholes yet, because you totally could.
Oh, well, just you wait. It's coming for you. Anyways, it's nice to have you here, and thank you so much for actually participating in this show we call a podcast. What I really want to touch upon today is definitely the mental and physical stability of actually being in a rock band and being a musician overall. You had some struggles just a few years ago, as I recall it.
Yeah.
Some health issues. Can you elaborate if you want to? Of course. Like I'm just like issues. The Ellen Show, just putting you on the spot here.
Well, I had last year. I was diagnosed with an aneurysm in the brain. which was luckily found in time. But as soon as I got the results back from my MR scan, I was called up by the hospital and they said we need to see you and we need to see you now.
Yeah.
And a week later I was in surgery.
Okay.
So they went in through the what's called here down here at the leg.
Yeah.
The major artery.
Yeah.
And up to the brain and filled it with little metal coils. And put what's it called? It's called
a mesh, some kind of
to
stretch out the vein to make the blood pass. Yeah.
And I actually was only bedridden for 4 weeks before I was.
That's impressive.
That's a healthy recovery. That's
really crazy.
Speeding up.
Yeah.
Like a mutant, really.
Yeah. Well, last year I was Red played support for Walking Rumor. That was 7 weeks after the surgery.
That for real. I was at that show.
Yeah.
So real, you did great.
You just had surgery just before that show.
Yeah.
That's impressive.
Not even 2 months ago.
Now I feel like an.
How did it actually? I was thinking, how did it affect? Did you have to do any rehabilitating? Did it have any actual effect on you?
Yeah, it did. Yeah. It did. My symptoms before my surgery was that I would when I had my head down, I would go numb in the right side of my face, and really weird.
But did that like affect your your thought process of being a musician and your career in all? Like, did it affect your fear of losing it in any way?
Not before I got the diagnosis.
Yeah.
Then it all hit like a train.
Yeah.
I remember the ride home from the hospital when we were me and my wife were out and talked with the doctors and the nurses about what's going to happen, and the ride home was just so long, really long.
Yeah, I can imagine.
We had to have this talk about worst case scenario, what to do.
Yeah.
What's my wishes? What can we do? What will happen to her if in the worst case scenario that I would die?
Yeah, that's a very real scenario or thought.
For comparison, I have 2 kids also, so it was. It was.
Yeah. There must have been a lot of death anxiety going on.
There was.
Yeah, I could imagine really that.
So,
could you even think about music in a time like that?
No. Not at that point.
No.
Well, I did have the occasional thought about what if I survive, and if there's complications, would it affect my ability to sing?
Yeah, but like the entire thought process of like how much do music even matter when you're in that position at all? Was it like, well, I'd rather quit music than
life? Yeah,
than life. Yeah.
That's a really really hard question, because music has always been a huge part of my life.
Yeah.
So the thought of not playing music was just devastating.
Yeah,
of course.
Thankfully, it all worked out.
Like 7 weeks back on stage. That's bloody
how
impressive.
long I could stay away from music.
Yeah, okay. Maybe the doctors were just like, no,
don't do that.
Fuck you guys.
It's like Bob Marley, who got shot, and the day after he went directly out on stage once again.
But how has it affected your way of writing music? I'm assuming you're still writing lyrics, writing music.
I'm still writing, but I think my lyrics has been more. There's more depth to it. I always have this mantra that I have to write songs that matter. Not just throw a 5-minute lyric together and then it's just gibberish.
Like mine, okay.
It's supposed to mean something. I like that approach. I think a lot of musicians want to have some kind of deeper meaning, or at least the audience are supposed to be able to hear, hey, I actually spent a lot of time on this. It matters to me.
Yeah.
So that makes sense.
It also impacts that I have more self-criticism. So I have this feeling that whatever lyric I write is not good enough. It can be better. But it's really, really hard to just say, well, this is good enough.
Yeah.
This is actually good lyrics.
That's absolutely a real issue with music in general, because music is super subjective. There's no good, there's no bad. There's just, do you like it or don't you like it? And that's basically just what it is. But that also means that we as musicians at some point has to stop being too self-critical about it, because it is subjective. It doesn't matter that I think it's the greatest thing in the world that I've written. If everybody hates it, then it's, it's such a difficult thing. And at some point, we also need to just stop. Actually, this was what I had in my heart. Stop.
Yeah, I think we were our own biggest self-critic, really. Like when I'm writing, I know I joke about my own writings because it's just who I am, really. But like when I'm writing my own lyrics, I'm always taking that deep dive, like getting into that zone, into that mood, and always feeling the things that were left unsaid, really. Which of the parts can I be most honest about that I'm never really honest about in my day-to-day life? And that comes out in song, really. I don't know if is that something you can resonate with, really?
Yeah, I can.
You can do that?
Really, yeah. I also, some of the lyrics I write, some of the songs I write, have traces back to my childhood. Some experiences I had there. I think I had a rough childhood myself. I think I had jumped from school to school and was a victim of bullying. Everywhere, actually. So that was hard, and it made me doubt myself a lot. Really.
That really can mess up a kid's life more than anything. Really, it can have traces
way into the future. Yeah, like it can also be the flame and the fluid for all the lyrics that you come up with. Really, and all the frustrations. Actually,
the first real song I wrote it at, I think it was around 16, 17. Around that time. And it was this song, it was called Amnesia. And I still play it today when I play shows myself.
Yeah,
okay, cool.
But it just had this it just has a lot of meaning to me.
Yeah.
Because it has this, it's about not knowing who you are, really, and trying to find out where you belong.
Yeah.
I just think that's I'm not sure I've written lyrics that were that good since.
It's like you have a favorite lyric, actually.
But it's crazy having this thought that you peaked at your first song. That's just
that is a bit depressing.
It really is.
True. It's like I wrote this masterpiece, and ever since then everything has been shite.
But it does make sense. Like the whole song, just the way you've described some of the things you went through in your childhood, and a song called Amnesia that's about finding out who you are. It makes a lot of sense that whole I don't know where I belong, because I never really felt like I belonged anywhere. I never really felt I had anyone, and I was never the same place more than 2 seconds to actually feel at home. That makes so much sense that you would go into adulthood and have a bit of troubles. Like, who am I? I never spend enough time to actually find out, and now you might have to find out as an adult, which can be, a bit late and frustrating to do. And it makes a lot of sense with a song like Amnesia. It's very easy to imagine what that song is about just by hearing that story.
Yeah.
Also, it happens time and again when I'm writing, not just writing lyrics, but every time I'm trying to one-up myself. And it feels constantly like that I'm still trying to yell at the people who bullied me back in middle school, really. Yeah. To whoever dumped my ass in the toilet, this is for you. You're an
We come off as some incredibly bitter people.
Yeah, really.
All musicians are just clinically depressed and sad and bitter assholes. That's a bit sad, I guess.
We still write songs about our very first girlfriend who broke our hearts. It's not fair.
But to some extent...
Damn you, Felicia.
But yeah, to some extent, there are a lot of truth in how art tend to live in strong emotions. And unfortunately, very strong emotions are anger. They are despair. They are depressive. They are sad. So I kind of also get what you mean by that feeling that this song you wrote about something that was so that you felt so strongly. How you would hold that very dear to your heart. Maybe your audience don't, or maybe they do, but it's kind of nice to hear that you as a musician kind of have that song where it's almost just for you. It doesn't really matter. I have that with some things I've wrote too, where I'm like, yeah, that's just for me. I don't even really care if people like it. This is for me. This is my heart.
Yeah, exactly.
This.
Yeah.
But that also tend to just mean a lot to the audience because they can feel it. I talked with you before about how some live versions of songs are just so much better than the recorded. You
can feel the performance.
Yeah. You feel the emotions all of a sudden.
Like everything is coming out all at once. Because in recordings everything has to be so pure, it has to be perfect, it has to be almost too polished in a way. Where live, all that really just goes away.
Yeah. There are some artists where the live versions you can hear that the song really means a lot to them.
Yeah.
I have an example where Corey Taylor, when he plays his acoustic versions, when he plays Snuff, sometimes he breaks down on stage because the song means a lot to him. It's hard for him to play it, but he does it anyway.
That is
exactly
so beautiful.
Yeah.
It's really, really beautiful.
Like remember back then when Chester Bennington, he dedicated One More Light to his lifetime friend Chris Cornell.
Yeah.
Like he could barely get through that song. Yeah. And it's sadly it's on YouTube if you want to check out that moment. It's really hard to watch, really. Yeah.
Some very beautiful moments in music history. Yeah. And about that, when you're playing live, how do you feel? Now you've relatively recently had an experience that could have ended
everything
really, really horribly, and luckily you came out and feeling fine. How do you feel on stage now?
I try to give as much as I can on stage.
Do you feel alive? Do you feel more alive? Do you like?
Yeah. I feel playing on stage is the best thing ever, and it's just been even more great after this experience because I'm so grateful to have this experience.
Yes.
To have this opportunity to play live.
How many live shows have you played ever since that incident?
With Shred, unfortunately not a lot because we had this replacement of our bassist. So that's a recording of new album. But I think around 4 or 5 shows. In a year.
But that's 4 or 5 grateful moments, really.
Yeah. I had some acoustic jobs also with mostly cover, but also where I play, for example, Amnesia.
Yeah.
And God of Fire acoustic. That's a
I would
love to hear that.
I'd love to hear that.
So I played a lot this summer actually.
Right.
Around.
Nice. Can I ask how much music are you involved in? You mentioned Shred. That's like the main rock outlet. You play some for yourself?
Yeah, I play some myself. Yeah, and also I have this duo also that's only covers.
Yeah.
Called Skarpt Indspark. It's Danish, so.
Yeah.
Skarpt Indspark.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then I play in this old 90s hard rock cover band called Fishbone.
Fishbone, yeah.
Yeah,
cool.
they existed in the 90s, and then they recently, recently it's 2 years ago, they got back together, and then they asked me, our old singer can't really sing that good anymore, so will you come and play some guitar?
Didn't Fishbone start out making new metal?
I think it's 2 different things. This Fishbone is primarily it's covers of Judas Priest and Whitesnake and AC/DC.
Oh, I love that. I'd love to hear.
Great for that.
You would be great for Whitesnake.
Really.
That's just a no-brainer.
Like we were listening to it on the car ride over here, and we were like, this dude, he has that 80s vibe. He really does.
you have a high range. It goes up there. That's damn cool.
Thank you very much.
I was actually...
it's not a compliment, it's a fact.
That's the thing about me. I'm really bad at taking compliments because of my history of low self-esteem. So it's like when people come up to me and say, "Oh, you have a really great voice," and I say, "Well, yeah, I suppose."
Like actually, low self-esteem. Is that So, like, do you have a history of letting low self-esteem block you in any way during your career?
Yeah, I think so. I have this tendency to be very introverted because, well.
Now you're on a podcast. What are you talking about?
Well, musicians usually have two personas. They have the private persona and the public persona. And the public persona really have to be extrovert.
And they are often like almost like reversed of each other. Like I always like to hear when people talk about Eminem and how he is as a person and how laid back and relaxed and just so detached from the person he is on stage.
Slim Shady persona.
You know, that whole Slim Shady. It's a good example of that. And I think you're right that whole you can be the most introverted figure and just really, you know, hold back, repressed, and then on stage you're the most extreme metal monster that just jumps out in the head of people and crowd surf, and you know, it's funny how and I think you really do need that too. I think there's a good reason why stage personas are such a thing as they are. I think it's why a lot of singers or actors or stuff like that actually comes up with stage names. They kind of need another persona.
They kind of need that mask to put on, really.
Yeah.
I think the worst days of my entire career, it's release day. I hate release day. It's like I have a release date coming of October 12th, and it's a built-up anxiety because it's a lot of craft that I've been putting my heart and soul into. I've been working on it for a long time, and I really love it. I hope everyone loves it, but there's this low self-esteem in the back of my head saying, people are going to hate this. People are going to think this is bad. It's not going to get enough streams. It's not going to get enough views, etc., etc., etc. And you're sitting there on release day in full anxiety, blown out mode. And you're just watching that number that is not growing.
Well, it took me a lot of time to get this persona on stage, because I had many years where I was very reserved on stage because of my low self-esteem. And then when I joined Shred, it was like, well, to watch a Shred concert is kind of like watching an Iron Maiden concert without all the theatrics. It's people running around on stage, really just everywhere.
You're like monkeys on stage, really.
Yeah, actually. So it's to play a Shred show, you just have to have this mindset that who cares what these people think? You're on the stage, they're here to see you, so you must do something right. And
exactly.
Just release everything and just go crazy.
And that's actually so true, because I once heard someone say, the audience is there because they want you to succeed. Nobody pays to come in to be horrible. That's very rarely the case. They want you to succeed. They want to have a good time. Go crazy. Nobody's thinking that. And I do like that sentiment. Again, it's all that control we sometimes want. Control over accidents or uncontrollable things, really. We think too much about it sometimes. Oh, am I playing the right notes and stuff? And it's of course important to play and sing right, but in the end, most people don't care. They just want to see you go mental, and I think there's something beautiful about how forgiving the audience can also be if you just give an incredible show and just don't really care about a lot of other things. But it is an impressive thing to be to maybe suffer from some sort of depressive state, have low self-esteem, and then go, I want to fix that. I will go up on stage in front of 1,000 people. Most wouldn't exactly deal with things like that, but that's kind of what you and a lot of other musicians probably do.
Yeah.
Because, like, low self-esteem, I want to show off for 1,000 people. Doesn't really make sense, but that's what you have to do.
It's like a big contrast.
That's what you have to do.
But then again, if you throw the low self-esteem ball out there, and there's tons of people out there who can actually relate to it, you instantly kind of gain some sort of community going on with that. Like using that as an element, really. Yeah. Like speaking of community, what would you say that like the biggest not the biggest, most likely the hardest stepping stones of being an upcoming musician is?
Well, it is building a fan base. I think it's really, really difficult.
Yeah.
Actually, we Shred has, but it's primarily here in southern Denmark. We have a great fan base, which almost always come out and see our shows.
Yeah,
I have heard about you for many years before I've even met you. This is the first time I actually meet you in private, and I have heard the word shred been thrown around for a long time.
So you're kind of starstruck right now.
Yeah.
Cool. So no, but we have trouble getting a fan base in Copenhagen and Northern Jutland. It's really we haven't been able to really build a fan base there. But I think the biggest problem about that is that we haven't had a lot of releases. We haven't had much that people can actually listen to.
So it's the releases, it's the promotion of things, really.
Yeah.
Like gaining access to the bigger cities and being the front man of something people want to be involved with, really.
Yeah, because also when I've heard you play once or twice, I've heard the music that you have released, and it seems like it's not a big problem making people love you when you're on stage.
No,
the problem seems to they need to engage afterwards with something, and then that's also like a real issue with musicians, because I don't know if people know what recordings actually cost, mix and masters. We talked about it before, and it always gives us a completely new aneurysm to talk about that, because it's expensive and it doesn't always match. You can be a wildly popular live artist and still come home with almost no money, and definitely not enough for actually recording anything on a regular. It is, it's quite the enigma to make that go around.
It's just the cost of like producing and mixing, mastering. Then you need the sound guy to follow you on live shows, and some even needs crew to help them out with guitar stuff and setting up drums and like everything that you're not an expert in. You kind of need to pay your way out of that. Eventually you're gonna go home with $5 in your pocket, even though you played in front of 1,000 people. And I think that's one of the things that kills a lot of artists. Like not let me rephrase that. Like that kills the motivation in a lot of artists. It's like seeing how little that it pays, and seeing all the work that has to be done and how much you need to be an expert on. Like I think we talked about this in a previous podcast, really, how you need to be some sort of creative octopus. Like you need to be your own social media manager, you need to be your own photographer, you need to be your own producer, mixer, all that stuff.
I always felt that this world we live in now, there has never been so many opportunities as there actually are. You actually can build a fan base just on YouTube or social media, and that's wonderful. So many more people are now engaging with music and writing music and releasing it because it has become more accessible. But the problem also arrives when there are just so much you need to know now. There are so much noise you want to cut through, and you need to become a better and better professional on so many levels and so many things. You need to be your own lawyer all of a sudden. You need to know the laws of 200,000 different countries, and there's so many things. So if you don't want to pay for it, you need to learn to do it. But there's so much to learn to do that it is not what most musicians actually want to do. They just want to play that damn guitar.
It's not like in the 80s where if you just had a contract with the record company, they just did everything for you.
Yeah, pretty much.
Sit down, write some music, play some shows. We will handle the rest.
Absolutely.
Not like that anymore.
No. But back then, almost nobody got a chance. It was so hard to actually be considered anything, and most likely it was just because no record label actually ever heard about you. So that was a whole different set of issues. But when you had the record label, you were golden, and in quite a different way.
It kind of feels like today that record labels are only getting interested in people who already have a following, who's already having that sort of success. But that again, they're kind of like shooting themselves in the foot with that, because there's kind of being a rebellious thing going on right now, where artists are like, well, if I'm that popular, if I have that sort of following, and I'm doing fine already, why do I need you? Why do I need you to come in and take 80% of my money?
They're reversing the roles.
Kind of like it's kind of like labels are kissing the feet of artists instead of artists kissing the feet of labels.
And it's also just generally become the lines of what is actually expected, what you need, they become more and more blurred. It's also because it's so independently. Because I actually think a lot of artists still could benefit from a record deal, a record label. Of course they could.
Absolutely.
But it's not everybody. And that's what becomes very confusing, because there's so much new going on. Like just the last 10 years, how many laws and copyright things that starts to happening, and nobody really knows what to do about it anymore. I've got copyright strikes from my own song, and I don't know what to do about it. I'm not allowed to use my own song.
Again, you need to be your own lawyer.
That's so funny. That's a thing that happens. I'm not allowed to use my own music because I haven't given myself permission, and I don't know how to give myself permission legally. So that's very interesting.
Crazy world we live in.
It is quite crazy. It's quite interesting.
Well, also getting to that point, like saying when you're in a label, you always have that pressure on you to like you have to one up yourself again and again and again. Speaking to like other artists who's been in like Junkyard Drive as a example. I don't know if you heard about those guys. Like they're signed with, I think it's Mighty Music or Target Records. I think that's kind of the same label thing. But yeah, they always have to like one up themselves. That's the impression that I have listening to their albums, really, because they're like, well, we have to sign for a new record deal every year. Yeah. It's not just you have a label, then you have a record deal, and then it goes on forever and ever. No, you kind of have to renew the deal for every year.
Yeah.
And
for every album, yeah.
Yeah, for every album, really. I don't recall things being like that back in the day. It kind of just felt like, well, we're signing an artist's career, and today we're signing an artist's work.
Yeah, it's a lot different today. I know some labels, I think Target included, is where you make this deal, but you pay them money for this promotion package.
Yeah,
that they distribute the album. I think in most cases they also have the expense for producing a vinyl. So that's the positive thing about it.
It's really a little cheaper.
Yeah, because the price of the promotion package is around the same price as if you would produce the vinyls yourselves. So you get something out of it.
Yeah.
But it's still a lot of out-of-pocket money. You have to give
pocket money, and Target owns the record. So if you have to play shows where you can sell the record afterwards, you have to buy it from Target first. At a reduced price, of course.
But still, that's a lot of layers to actually start earning money. And you really need to see some return investment on that before you actually want the record deal. That is quite the calculations.
Yeah, but I think it's Target and Mighty Music are one of the only labels in Denmark where they take in hard rock and metal.
Yeah, really.
They are basically the only ones.
Yeah. Like I think we have like two competitors going head to head, really. But when it comes to like your type of genre, I think they're the only ones.
Yeah,
like really, it kind of narrows it down a lot for the potential of business corporations in Denmark per se. But like Denmark is a small country.
Yeah,
it could be bigger. There could be a lot more done. But then again, have you ever considered like seeing outwards and looking at labels in different countries like Germany, Sweden, Norway?
Yeah, we have talked about it, especially Germany, because Germany is very fond of Denmark. Danish metal music.
Yeah, they love it.
They have such an awesome culture down there.
Yeah. I remember I think it was in the 90s. That was not hard rock. That was Natural Born Hippies were a big name in Germany. Not much in Denmark, but no.
Germany has like so many subcultures. There are so many people, and there's just this big love for indie artists, and it's just everything you make, there will be people who love it. There will be people who wants to celebrate with you. It's very colorful and wonderful in some of the bigger cities.
Like we had a tour down there a few years ago, and it was kind of funny, like hearing from the venue manager that we needed to be ready at the merch booth because there was a line outside to see us, and we were just we were the support gig, really. We were like a line outside to see who, what now. Well, when they opened the doors, we were that busy at the merch booth. Like we almost sold out at the first show. But they have this culture in Germany saying like, we want to see the support guys because they could be, for all we know, the new Metallica.
Yeah.
Like they could get that big. So we have the first signings, we have the first photographs, we have the first T-shirts, we have first of everything. Imagine the value of that.
Yeah.
Like seeing how it went down for Volbeat.
Yeah.
Like they've witnessed this firsthand as well.
Oh yeah, they skyrocketed.
It really
exactly.
it was just
Seemingly
so
overnight
quick.
in the US, that was just crazy.
Yeah, like
so
imagine like having one of the first pictures together with Volbeat before they actually went big, right? Imagine the value of that today. That would be insane.
Yeah.
Talking about music and release and stuff, do you have anything planned? You've mentioned that you are working on something with Shred.
Yeah.
Do you want to shed some light on that? Shed some light.
Shed some light on that.
Yeah. Yeah, we are working on our first full-length album.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
what kind of style are you doing? If I told the audience now that they should go listen to God of Fire, which is the most recent one with you.
Yeah.
Where is it going from that? What's happening?
There are some songs on the album that's kind of like God of Fire, but we also have taken some in a more metal direction,
right?
And also some in a little more soft direction.
So that's gonna come the classic.
It's a diverse album, I think.
Yeah, okay.
Like when you're saying like a more metal direction, are we saying all the way to heavy metal or like because it's very metal already?
Yeah, exactly. God of Fire is kind of in that you can hear the hard rock inspiration. I again the guitar track that's definitely for me kind of hard rock, but it's just kissing that 90s metal kind of thing. You can hear that it's going in that direction. So are you leaning more into the more deep, more growly kind of metal? Are you going up for the like 90s glam metal and some high screams? Like where are you taking this?
Yeah, a little bit of glam, but also a little more like... Yeah, we talked about Avenged Sevenfold before. A little more in that genre. Also, we have
it's a very theatrical metal.
Yeah,
really.
we have this one song which we are very very excited to show people. It's called The Winter War, and it's about the Soviet Union in the 1939, 1940. Where they invaded Finland.
Yeah, absolutely. The Second World War.
Yeah. But it was classified as a war in itself.
Yeah,
the Winter War.
Not a lot of people know that.
But
that's so interesting to write about that.
Yeah, it was, and the creepy thing about it was that when we finished writing this song, only a month after did Russia go into Ukraine.
Yeah, that's scary. That's foreshadowing, really.
But it also we have played the song at live shows a couple of times, and people are just going crazy at it because I think it's because it's a relevant topic right now.
It's not like you're teasing it on the podcast now, and then it's not making the album.
It's making
it's like album. That would be weird.
So is that a more relaxed song? Is that one of the high faster songs? Like what type of music is that?
Yeah, it's we tried making it starts slow. And then it has...
So kind of like a ballad thing in the beginning?
Yeah. I think it's... we can compare it to... Well, Avenged Sevenfold was the primary inspiration for this song. Especially their song MIA from City of Evil.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like... We wanted to do something like that, but not be a complete copy.
Of course.
It's okay to find inspiration.
Yeah. So, but it's kind of our darling on that record, but it's also our longest song.
Okay.
Right now, before we have made fade outs and all that, it clocks in at around 7 minutes. So it's but we have this. We can't really trim it more down now.
No.
But it's the history of that song is just really really crazy because we started making a song, a completely different song actually, where we had this. It was when we thought it was finished, we thought, yeah, well, it's a song, but well, it really.
But it kind of need context.
Yeah, it was called The Prisoner back then, and it was about this guy in prison who knows he's never gonna see the light of day and just wants to die. And then our Sebastian Raften, our one guitarist, he said, "Well, I try to play a little with this song, and I found this new way to play it." And he played it for us, and then we said, "Well, now it changes the whole context of the song, so now we have to start over on the lyrics." And then we just found this. We had this inspiration that we would be writing a war song.
Yeah.
But also, if it could take inspiration from a real war.
Yeah.
Kind of like Iron Maiden does, and a lot of their songs.
Yeah, they absolutely. Yeah.
So we've searched for what could be a really crazy war to write about, and we found the Winter War because it was just this crazy underdog story where the Russians were 4 times as many as the Finns, and the Finns just kicked their ass.
Yeah,
they crazy. So
might be something about the
competence.
So we wrote this song, and we just every time we wrote a new piece of it, we just said, well, it has to more pieces. We have to have more different pieces. So and then we actually ended up with a song where we had too many pieces. We said, can we trim it a bit down? And we did. And then we thought, now this song is finished. And again, our guitarist Sebastian called us up one day and said, I think I have a great idea. And then he actually showed us a chorus he wrote with lyrics and all. Yeah. And it was just, well, we have to have this in our song. It was just crazy.
So it was like a very big process, like killing your darlings and like picking it up again and again and again.
Yeah.
I see, like it's a song that develops through time.
Yeah. There's a lot of different sections in it. So it is a journey through the song.
It's a lot of storytelling going on.
It was also one of the things we really wanted to do with the song. We wanted to make a song that's not just standard verse, chorus, solo, chorus.
Done.
So we wanted to do something special. And
it really sounds special. Like just the story of it. Again, it feels all like you're telling the story of this war. There's ups, there's downs, there's doubt, and there's power. You can always kind of, it's again, just from the description of how you wrote it, you kind of already start having this wonderful thing about how it's gonna sound, how powerful it is. I've heard your vocals. So it sounds amazing.
And I'm really looking forward to it.
It's easy to imagine why people also would love that kind of music if you're coming to see a rock metal show, and a story and song like that really will shake the audience and make them all kinds of hyped and feel a lot of things. That sounds amazing. And wonderful variety.
There's a lot of material already in that per se. Just If I was like a guy who needed to brand that song, I love branding stuff. I would like just take that concept of the story and the inspiration for it and dial it up to 11 and really see where they can take it. Like seeing where they could take the content and the context of everything that's going on and seeing who you're pushing that song to and how you're doing it.
Yeah, well, the obvious would be that there was a market in Finland because it's told from the Finns' perspective.
Yeah.
So
have you ever like considered like touring outside of Denmark?
Yeah, we thought about it and we would like to do that at some point. But right now we want to focus on releasing this album.
Yeah.
And then see where it takes us locally.
Yeah.
In Denmark, and then see if we can do something outside of Denmark.
Yeah.
It would be really crazy.
Makes a lot of sense.
Do we have like one of these memories you can look back to? Like now you're playing. How many live shows have you played with Fred so far?
Oh, it's I think it's about in the 40s or 50s. I think.
Do you have like a favorite moment?
Oh, that's a good question. We played
like the curveball in there.
We played a festival some years ago. It was only 3 songs because it was part of a competition where we went to the finals. Yeah. And in the audience, in the jury, was Ronnie Atkins from Pretty Maids.
What?
For real?
What?
Yeah.
It's really crazy to play our songs for him, and he actually came to us afterwards backstage and said, "That was really great, guys. That was great.
Thank you so much. Get us on tour.
Yeah. I love Pretty Maids.
Yeah.
That's a freaking throwback.
The funny thing is, our drummer is a really big Pretty Maids fan. So when,
of course.
when Ronnie came over to him, I sat in the couch beside him and said, "Wow, really great." He just said, "Oh, it's Ronnie Atkins."
That's amazing.
But
That's
it was
so cool.
Really, really great experience. But also touring with Hotel Hunger last year was also really great, especially because they were just so nice to us. We've heard about these head acts where they have support bands on tour and they're just two separate things. They don't see each other because they're the head acts and they're just low lives.
Yeah, so, they're nobody.
But not Hotel Hunger. We actually shared backstage rooms with them because the one venue all the drinks were in their backstage and we had to run up and down and they just said, "Don't do that. Stay here."
That's so cool.
So that was really cool. They were amazing. Really nice.
I love hearing about like maniac bands who remembers where they came from. Like remember back to when they were their low lives, where they're nobodies and just trying to make it through really and trying to be big, and they're inviting the support act and like saying, you made it to support our show. You must have something going on. And we would love to hear about that.
It's also some really amazing name drops you actually have here. I think we should really try and remember put the names and stuff.
Links
Pretty
and everything
are
in
an
the
old Danish
description,
band. They have made amazing music. I don't think they don't play anymore together, do they?
No, not at the moment. They haven't been since Ronnie was diagnosed with cancer.
Yeah, that's true.
But after he was diagnosed with cancer, he just got so productive. I think is it 2 or 3 solo albums he's
it's kind of like throwing it into the theme of the podcast today.
Along with touring with Avantasia also. So
it's
really crazy.
Yeah, we need to put links. That's just so many things.
There's a lot going on.
I can do a lot more.
There's a lot of great recommendations for music right now.
It kind of like puts into the theme of the podcast today because like having physical struggles during your music career that either spikes your creativity or kind of kills it. And having that cancer diagnosis is definitely one of them. I'm working with a solo artist named Katz Herlo, and she had cancer diagnosed in her throat. Actually on her voice. And she had surgery, and it's phenomenal to see that she got through all of that and still sings so beautifully today.
She bounced back so wonderful and actually got her voice back.
Yeah, she's
that's
amazingly talented, and I'm so honored to be working with her.
We should have her in here and talk about that too.
Yeah, that would be phenomenal. Actually, it would be fun to see. And you should definitely meet her. Like,
she's a wonderful.
We would love to invite you back, having her here. And you guys could actually just share your stories one more time.
Yeah.
That would be freaking fun.
Yeah, cool.
Do you have like any questions for us now that you're here?
That's always the big the
big
like, question.
You guys are freaking untalented. I don't have any questions.
I can already answer for you. Yes, I am that beautiful. It's not makeup or a filter. I am just that pretty. I am here to sex it up. It's a long hair, exactly. I love that you're growing yours out too. It's great.
Cool.
But shouldn't we just call it a day? It's been great having you here.
He hasn't even asked his question yet.
I don't.
No, it's not like I'm a narcissist or anything, but I'm just really bad at asking questions to people, and I can come off as a narcissist because of that. Yeah. But it's this introvert low self-esteem. So when people
it's
ask
difficult.
me, but how are you, and how's it going, and what are you doing right now? And then I just answer. Then I just stop talking. Yeah. And then afterwards, I just hear this little voice in the back of my head when I leave. You should have asked the same to that person.
Yeah. Yes.
I will say that's the thing with like I've known him for a long time, and I've been quite the introvert too in my young teens. But the great thing about knowing someone for a long time is that you just start not caring. I just kick the door in and say, "Hi, shit face, you look like crap. Should we go fix that?"
And I'm like, "Thank you for the compliment."
Either you take on some different clothes or you bring me beer because I can't deal with this. You know.
But that's the room setting, really.
It has taken a lot of time, but there's something beautiful. I think that's where friendship is the best. When you can just freely insult someone and still love them.
Yeah.
That's where you know it's real friendship.
and the insult feels like a compliment because you felt way more shitty than that.
Yeah. But yeah.
You know when you don't get a bad compliment, you know something's wrong.
Yeah. If he doesn't insult me, I know that.
You're getting imposter syndrome. Like,
what the hell?
What are you holding back, my guy?
He said something nice to me.
It's like if people telling me you have a nice shirt on today, I'm like, are you bullying me right now?
It's like, no, I don't. What's wrong? What do you need?
What do you mean? So like, do you have a final message for your fans?
Well, the obvious, go check out Shred. Go wait for a new album this new year. We'll see you on the road.
You don't have a release date for me?
Not yet. We'll have to. The album is in the mixing process right now, and we need to see where.
You know what? If you at some point know when it's about to hit us up. We'll make a new podcast, and we'll make sure to if you want to come back and talk about the new album when it's actually has a release date. We'd love to talk about some more about.
That would be freaking fun. Yeah. And then we're gonna invite Kat back in here.
Yeah. Think about March. I think.
About March.
About March.
Oh, that's a huge promise.
Oh,
without promising.
Be careful.
We've been teasing a lot of music today, actually.
Yeah.
But absolutely go check Shred. I keep looking at that camera. Yeah. Check out Shred. I recommend God of Fire because that's absolutely my favorite. And thank you for joining us.
Yeah, thank you for having you here. Thank you for taking a trip down here. It's been a huge pleasure having you, and we want to see you again, definitely. And hey guys, thank you so much for watching this episode of the Juice Music Show podcast. We hope you enjoyed everything that we had going on. And if you stop bumping the damn camera, I will have a better time editing.
It's right there. I'm gonna lift it up and run.
God damn it. Remember to press the like button and remember to subscribe. See you next time.
Bye.
Bye.